Oh, hey, we're live. Okay. My bad. Grab your packet again. Flip it to the back, and let's write down some notes on the back. That'd be a good idea. Okay. So we got some terms that we're going to review on polynomials. Let's go. Hey, sorry about that. You caught me right in the middle of my morning muffin. It was good. It's actually some still over there. Let's get into it. Polynomial vocabulary. Take good notes. This is a review of last year, but you kind of need this to set up function families so we know what we're talking about and there's a common language between us. Okay. So the first word you need to write down is terms, and you should know this one. It's a number, which is called a constant, which we'll get into in a second, or a constant and a variable held together with multiplication. I often describe this as multiplication is the glue that holds a term together. So that's review. You can pause me at any time during this video just to make sure that you can get this written down, okay? Because I'm going to go right through it. Write down like terms, and the definition is terms with identical variables of the same degree. So if you have an x and an x squared and they're separate terms, those are not like terms. They have to have identical variables of the same degree, and we should probably talk about degree after we talk about coefficient. Coefficient is a number, which is a constant, that multiplies a variable. You could say it's in front of the variable, but actually it's just multiplying the term by that constant, therefore it's a coefficient. You also see this in science in your chemical equations. Okay, degree. The highest ranking exponent of a term within a polynomial. So let me say that again. So if you have three terms in your polynomial, and you have a squared term and x to the first and maybe a constant, the highest ranking exponent would be a 2, therefore it's a degree 2. But there's an amendment to this rule. This is very important that you remember and often forgotten when we played Kahoot last year. A lot of people would miss this question. If a term has more than one variable within a term, okay, so let's say you have like a 3xy, okay, then you have to add the exponents of those variables in that term to find a degree. Okay, so you'll see this later on in one of my examples. We'll see if you catch it. Okay, so pause the video, make sure you've got all this down so far. You can always go back if you need to. We already talked about constants multiple times already. It's a number with no variable. 5 is a constant, never changes. Okay, or does not vary. How's that? Because a variable like x or y or whatever can change based on what the variable is. All right, now I made some columns on my paper. See that? For naming polynomials. So in the left column, I say we're going to name it first by the number of terms. So you got actually this would be the second thing. Oh well, they're out of order. But write down this in the column. You've got monomial, binomial, trinomial. And then we discussed this last year about how come you just jump right to 4-term polynomial? What about quadnomial? That sounds kind of cool. I guess we just don't do that. So these are the names that we can associate with our polynomials, and of course we could keep going, 5-term polynomial and so on. Then you're going to name it by degree. So anything that has a degree 1, you can stick a 1 next to linear, like x to the first, okay, would be linear. Anything that is to the second is quadratic. Anything to the third is cubic, cube, 3-dimensional, 3, that makes sense. Fourth, anything to the 4th power or 4th degree would be quartic, okay, like quarter, which you got quad and quart, okay, so we just got to keep those separate. And then 5th to the 5th power would be quintic, and then so on. Okay, we could just say degree 6, degree 7, degree 8. Okay, though the names do get kind of fascinating when you move on. All right, some examples. X minus 5. Shout it out. What is it? Give me 2 names. Very good. It's a linear binomial. Linear because x is degree 1. There is no exponent here, but there is. It's a 1. And it has 2 terms. So linear binomial. Okay, next one. Oh, that's the same one. I wonder if you got this one. It is a quadratic trinomial. There are 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, separated by the addition and subtraction signs. And then it's a degree 2, but you don't add those together because they are separate terms. So overall, the highest ranking exponent is still a 2. Last one. I'm running out of time. Quintic monomial. Ooh, I wonder why that is. You see, it's quintic because it's x squared y cubed within the same term. So that's the amendment rule of the degree. So you have to add those two together. And then it's a monomial because it's -10 times x squared times y cubed. And multiplication is the glue that holds a term together. So it's one term, degree 5, quintic, monomial.